Hi there, it's Celeste. I'm so sorry that it's been like a month since I uploaded a video. I did take on some new work in January and it took me kind of the month to get used to that and start getting into a new routine with all of the things that I have going on. So anyways, I just wanted to come back and do a reading for the collective today. We're just gonna start right in and we're just gonna pull a story for some group of the collective that needs some guidance right now. I just want to remind you guys that if today's reading doesn't resonate for you, you can always go through my old readings. Readings are timeless. As in I'm not pulling cards that are specifically for a specific person or a specific time. The guidance that is there, if the situation fits, may be accurate. The way that I read is, when I do these collective readings, is a little bit different from how I would read if I was doing a personal reading. That said, if you have something going on in your personal life, that you might want a reading for, I would encourage you to reach out to me and schedule a coaching call. If you like tarot, we can pull some cards during your coaching call, but I am a coach and that is what I do. I help people with things that are challenging. I can certainly pull some cards to get the energy on the situation, can pull some cards for some guidance, but we can also get into how to navigate your situation in an empowered way, which can be difficult sometimes. Finding where your power is can be difficult sometimes, and that's why I do what I do. So I'm just going to pull a few cards on the energy that we're going to be reading about, and I'm going to see what the story is. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is cool. So I don't do love readings on this channel very often. Occasionally, a love story does come out, and I think that's important. I think it's important for writers to know and acknowledge in themselves that their personal lives affects their personal life affects their writing. And we often want to compartmentalize our writing and be like, well, this isn't a writing issue, so I don't want to talk to, you wouldn't want to talk to, most writing coaches wouldn't be able to guide you so much on personal issues. But one of the reasons that I coach the whole writer is that I believe it all matters. It all affects your writing, because we're always writing from, we're always taking bits from our experience. Like writing in some ways is like looking in a mirror. So if you're having relationship problems, that might start showing up in your writing. Or maybe you have a relationship pattern that's always showing up in your writing, or always affecting your ability to write. That's the other thing. Or your perceived ability to write. You let someone else have power over your creativity. And that can be very, very, well, it can be, you can have writer's block because of that, when in fact it's not really writer's block. What you really have is a relationship problem. So anyways, this is not necessarily a problem that I see here, but I do see a relationship. We have the Empress and we have the Emperor on the table, and we have the Lovers, and we have the Page of Wands. So if, if you're not here for a love reading, I can already tell you right off that that's what this is. So better luck next time. But if you are having here for a love reading, that's what we've got going on. What I'm seeing is two people who are ready to come together and are ready to, so these two, this is a couple, right? The Emperor and the Empress, and the Lovers tells me that they're in a love relationship. They're really, they're trying to come together. Somebody's making a small offering. This is a very passionate offering, or it could be something about two people who are deeply in love and in their power, in their relationship, making something together, creating something, and when I say creating something, I mean probably as creative wise, you're going to be collaborating on something together. But this thing that you're collaborating on, it's in its baby stages. It's in its young stages. There could also, so like when I say baby stages, I mean like maybe you haven't started talking about it yet, or maybe you've just started talking about it. It's kind of just this exciting idea right now between the two of you, but you probably haven't taken the steps to move it forward. And Spirit is telling me that this Lovers card is, it's something that's exciting for you both to work together, but this could also be a little bit, of a warning that sometimes having this like love relationship can be a challenge for a creative project. Things can be very, very exciting at first. And then when they start to manifest into a plan, I mean, some people can get right on the same page and just run with something together. But other times this can cause friction in a work sense. I don't know that this is a work project. It's probably got to do with collaborating on some kind of creative project. There's also a sense here that, okay, so this is coming out. This just hopped out of the deck because I was wanting to talk about this a little bit more. This can also be just like super passionate connection between two people. And then when we have the King of Wands in in the reverse, that energy is, so the King of Wands not in his power. So again, I was talking about the challenge. So there's something about this situation that is not mature yet. This is a little bit of watch your step energy. Don't get carried away. There's a need here to stay grounded and a tendency to get caught up in the passion and not necessarily think about all of the grounded details, because I don't see anything yet on the table about that. So I'm going to keep pulling cards. That one just hopped out, so that's kind of a bonus card. And I'm taking it as a clarification on the Page of Wands. This is not a mature energy. It is not yet grown into something that the King of Wands is very in control of his passion. He mastered it. He is the master. And if he is a she has mastered it. So give me a little bit more on this situation, Spirit. I'd like to dive in a little bit deeper. Can you give me some more about this creative project or these two people? These two people who are involved in this creative project. Give me some more on it, Spirit. Okay, so this is this holding back or this tentative energy. There's something here about being afraid of, I'm getting afraid of loss. They're afraid they're going to lose something that that they're afraid of disappointment. So I think they're a little bit afraid to step into this creative partnership, whatever it is, because they know this about this energy. They understand that they need to ground it in something else. And there is definitely a fear here about that. There could be that there are some disappointments that have been in the past, and they're just being very careful to, they don't want to lie to themselves. They don't want to get carried away. And I feel like they don't want to hurt somebody else in this situation. And someone's afraid of losing their independence. Creatively speaking, so this could be about two things. Creatively speaking, there could be some fear of working with another person and giving up your independence over your creativity. Like letting someone else into your creative process can be really, really exciting, or it can be there can be a lot of problems, right? Because someone else's creativity, their vision may not quite line up with yours, or their process may not line up with yours. And there's this fear that if I work with someone else, I'm not going to be able to do it my way. And there's also, this is about a new start or a new offer. I don't know if you, this might be, all right, I'm going to pull another card on that. Oh, the King of Pentacles. Okay, so there is a little bit of a fear of, I feel like there's uncertainty about whether this is going to pay off in the physical realm. Like, this is exciting and we really want to do this project together, but we are not sure that it's going to pay off. And we're not sure it's going to be worth the cost. Like, somebody's really worried about about their happiness is what it is. They're worried that they might, I think maybe you're worried that if you guys work together, you might lose your relationship, or you might, you're like, are we going to just go up in flames here together? Because sometimes when something burns really hot at first, it can just burn out, right? And so there's this worry that it won't be all that when you get deeper into it, and you're trying not to go there, and you're worried about your independence. This is about, see, it was the King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, and he was reversed. So that's a fear of not being stable. Can also be that idea of like, I'm just spending money here, I'm not making any. That can be very frustrating in the creative process. A lot of times we invest financially in our projects, and there's always a risk of whether we're going to make that money back or not. Okay, and there is, there is an ending here for somebody. I'm not sure who it is in the situation, so read this as it applies to your situation. If this reading is all kind of making sense to you so far, then one of you, maybe both of you, but at least one of you is worried about leaving something behind. So you may be turning your back on another project. You may be turning your back on another relationship. Could be that one of you has a relationship that you're afraid to lose at home. It could be that this is about, this could be like a job that you have been really happy at, but in order to do this exciting thing, you would have to turn your back on it or leave it behind. There's definitely an ending though. This is moving away from something and an ending, and somebody is worried about that. Somebody's seriously thinking about it. They're considering whether that's worth it or not. Is it worth it, is what I'm hearing. Because this energy is so exciting, and then this is all like, ooh, I don't know. Someone's second guessing their passion, which is not necessarily a bad thing, as long as you don't stay in that energy for too long. It's okay to know that something you're doing is risky. I mean, and where this is, I think this is about a creative project for at least a number of people this will resonate with, but I think that there may be other people that this isn't about a project at all. This could be about you've met the person you want to be with, and it's very passionate, but you're afraid to leave something that's more grounded behind to go toward that. Yeah, see, a Hierophant. So this is about leaving, this is what you're leaving behind. There's a commitment here that you don't want to leave behind. Conversely, maybe you want a commitment with this new person. Can I get a little more, Spirit? I love it when I can get lots of detail about it. Just like that. Yeah, there's that fear of not being able to work together. Like, what if I don't want to throw it all away for something that's not going to work out? Like, what if we can't work together in the long run? What if I just waste this? Yeah, and there's that page offering. Again, you've got 2 pages, and it's like, what if I throw everything away for something that, for a partnership that doesn't work out, and for absolutely no financial gain either. So somebody's taking a risk. Feels like a risk financially for somebody. Yeah. That's it's the card that represents, sometimes it represents poverty, fear of poverty. It's that fear consciousness around resources in a lot of cases. There's something about timing here. Is it the right time? So that's what my guides are saying, is that for somebody, they're like, this is the right thing, but is it the right time? Like when you, like this couple here, the Empress and the Emperor, they know they're good together. They know they work well together. They know they're a match in many, many ways. There is no doubt in this top row that these two people are like, they're right in sync about something. And they're right in sync in love, but they're wondering if the timing is just wrong for this thing. They don't want to, they're not sure they should take a chance. Let's look. I'm going to switch decks and I want to get some energy. I'm going to pull some energy because this is a pair. I'm going to pull some energy for the feminine over here and for the masculine over here. And that has nothing to do with gender, but sometimes one of us carries a little bit more of a feminine energy and one of us carries a little bit more of a masculine energy. That can be, but also feminine is also, if you want to take it out of gender norms, what feminine energy stands for symbolically is allowing, nurturing, being. And what masculine stands for is action. Not that the feminine can't take action. It's not about that. It's that symbolically, that's what this stands for. So there's something here about action and doing and kind of pushing. There's a lot of push in the masculine energy. A little more force, I guess you might say. So I'm going to pull some cards about what the feminine energy is experiencing. So we can kind of deconstruct these fears and concerns a little bit, and also the positives. So I want to look at what the feminine, what's the positive? I want to look at the light and the shadow and the feminine energy here. Okay, the feminine the feminine knows what she wants. That's the part of you that doesn't need to take action. That's the part of you that just is. There is a knowingness here in this situation for somebody that this is just the right thing. And the King of Wands again, but this time in the, that's in its power position, not in its reverse position. She knows that, that this is here, that this can be in its power. She understands that, like, there is no choice basically here. There is no choice about this person, and whether or not they do this project together, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She has a strong knowing. She has, that she's done a lot of thinking about it, and she's released the thinking, and she has like relaxed back into her beingness. And she just understands on a deep soul level that this can't really be messed up. On the shadow side, I'm going to pull it anyway, even though we just said, okay, on the shadow side, there's that acknowledgement of passion being a very strong driver, and sometimes it driving you in the wrong direction. And there's this, I feel like he doesn't show his feelings. This other person, he or she doesn't show their feelings. And Again, the Queen of Pentacles is she's quite independent. And she's here with a king. She's here with two kings, actually. Okay, so maybe that's a sign for somebody that this is about the other person. We talked about there's a possibility that this card means walking away from another relationship before this thing can happen. So there's a possibility that there's a problem in the so when I talk about the shadow, this can also be about what's happening in the 3D. In the reality is she doesn't necessarily it's not that she doesn't want to make a choice, or maybe she doesn't want to make the wrong choice, I guess is what it is. Although on some level she understands that there isn't a wrong choice, because whatever is just is. Okay, so let's look at the masculine energy. This is, again, the doing energy in the relationship. This is the person who tends to take more action and be less, maybe a little less passive. Passive is not always weak. Passive can be very empowered. It depends on the what's going on with the passiveness. Okay, this is the light. Okay, this person has released a lot of ego. That's kind of cool. A lot of ego. This person has done a lot of work to release a lot of ego and a lot of defensiveness. This person has been releasing their need for like attention and winning. Like maybe in the past they really were focused very hard on what other people thought about them. Maybe they had a lot of defensiveness, and maybe they really wanted to be, this is like wanting to be in the public eye or wanting your rewards, your just rewards. And this person has really like done some work on releasing all of that. Lots and lots of ego has been released, and that's pretty cool. That's actually union energy for the masculine. Because that is a masculine who's integrating with his feminine. He's embracing it, not necessarily giving up on the masculine, just seeing things differently. And then this is the shadow energy. There's something here about not wanting to break from some foundation that has been built, and there's still, okay, so we have the Hierophant again. So this could be, again, wow, this is interesting. This is like not wanting to break with some sort of tradition. So the Hierophant can be sometimes, in a love reading, a lot of times it's about marriage, but it can also be like about social norms, about what's expected of us in relationships. It's about someone else dictating what union between two people should look like. And there's something here about releasing something that was traditional. Again, this person might be moving away from another relationship. And then there's something here about keeping, it's the shadow energy. So there's still resistance about this. This is the High Priestess in her shadow energy. She can be a little bit, well, first of all, she's secretive in her power. But when you take secretive and you turn it into disempowerment, then it's kind of like withholding energy or pretending to know more than it knows. So there are some significant, there's significant strength and weakness here, I guess is what I want to say. There's still a lot holding these two back from, it's not just the fear. What I'm getting here is it's just not, like together, it kind of portrays itself as this fear of, well, maybe it's the wrong time, or it's the wrong project, or maybe, this isn't going to pan out and the cost might be too great. But when you look into each of the situations, there's definitely a fear of like what this is going to cost emotionally, or what this is going to cost in their lives outside of the project together, or their time together. I'm going to pull some guidance cards. It's so, I'm going to stick with the ones I picked. This is some guidance cards. I'm going to pull them for the feminine and the masculine because I don't know who you're resonating with, and I want you to be able to, pull a couple for each one, I guess is what I'm saying. So for the feminine, okay, I think that you have been trying to get a leg up on this situation, and Spirit is saying don't try to get a leg up on anything. That doesn't mean don't take any action. It means stop trying to force things. You don't have to force anything. There's no need for that. If this is going to happen, it's going to be work. Doesn't mean it won't be work, but if this is going to happen, it's not going to wring you out like a wet dishcloth. Yeah, regeneration. And this is that thing about allowing endings to happen when it's time for those endings to happen. My mom always has this saying, it sticks with me, and I think I've given my mom's advice here a number of times, but one of the things my mom always said is don't force the river. And you don't force the river. Like, it just takes you where it takes you. You get in and you see where it takes you. And that can be, for some people, that's a very fighting sensation. They want to try to go where they want to go. And for other people, they learn to kind of steer themselves in the river. And that's what this is kind of about, is everything has its ending in its own way. And that ending can be very stark and very scary. And if there is an ending here that's coming, what makes you think that you can stop that if it's meant to be? What makes you think that you have to hurry it along if the time isn't right? If the timing isn't right, what makes you think you have to hurry it along? Because in all due time, we have rebirth and regeneration, because that is just the way of nature. It's about allowing things. It's about allowing the ending when it needs to happen. You don't have to make it end, and you don't have to make it regenerate. It just does. I'm going to get 2 pieces of guidance for the masculine energy now. If you're feeling more in this masculine energy, if you've been in your doing place, if this story resonated with you a little more. Community, there's something here about needing to be around others. To stay grounded in a community, to stay grounded with your people, who are your people. And deep knowing in the reverse. This is about releasing I want to pull a clarifier. Actually, I'm going to pull one more because this is giving me a mixed message. The thing I want to say is not what I think that card actually means, I guess is what I'm saying. So I just want to pull one more. Yeah, okay, it is what I thought. So this is about releasing the need to know. It's about taking your knowing to a different level. There's the intellectual knowing, there's the kind of 3D physical reality knowing, the higher reasoning that goes on behind all of this thinking, all of these traditional structures. And then there's this place where you release all of that and you relax into your place of it's like gut knowing. It's you don't have necessarily, you feel like you've put in all this work on this thing and you're not going to give up now, but you have this deep knowing that something built on a false foundation or something built on a shaky foundation can never be strong. No matter how much work you've been putting into it, no matter how much reasoning you have put into trying to shore up this foundation, if the foundation is not there, if the building blocks were not strong to begin with, then it's no good. You have to relax. And Spirit is telling me that when you're afraid of losing something, this is where community comes in. You let your community hold you while you're letting things fall apart, which can be very difficult. Our tendency can be to like pull back from community, especially if that community, so this is another message, sometimes the community supports this, and there could be something here for somebody about you need community, but you need new community. Maybe your old community is pushing you to hang on to this. Like maybe you're holding on to all of this just to hang on to the community that surrounds it, but you have this deep knowing that the foundation for yourself, like you don't belong here. There's this deep feeling of, I love these people, but I don't feel like I belong with them. So that's kind of, that's a hard position to be in, but I think that's really wise guidance, is that when you build on the foundation of what matters to you, who you are, where your heart and soul really are, then the community that you attract is very like-minded. You've attracted this community based on this thing that isn't working for you anymore. A little more guidance for the feminine. You and your loved ones are safe. If you're worrying about somebody's safety, your own safety, someone else's safety, this is a reminder that you will come through this. And look at the bigger picture. So in a way, whenever you feel like you're too close to everything, zoom out a little. Think about how this big picture affects you before making any big moves, before forcing anything. Look at the big picture. Don't let pride get in your way. Don't let the sense of this 3D reality stop you from growing, stop you from saying yes to things that your spirit needs, that your heart needs. The end of a tough cycle. So there is an ending here. Something is wrapping up for you. And I don't know if it's this relationship. It could be just, what can be wrapping up sometimes is we can just be like done feeling a certain way about something. So take that as it resonates. Could be that some of you are going to not want to take a chance on this. Maybe you're going to put the hold on this because you're just not there yet. And it could be that some of you are going to walk away from this thing that's holding you back. You're just going to say, screw it, I'm going toward it. Oh, I want to pull a card for the union energy. This couple together, whoever they are, because they really do. I mean, they are a pair. They are a match, and they know it. And that's the hard thing about this reading, is that they feel like there's a lot of like third dimensional thinking that's keeping them apart. Be bold and make the first move. Somebody's got to actually take action. Somebody has to do something. There's been a lot of holding back here. Meditate and contemplate. It's so funny when the cards, like sometimes they do show you something that you wouldn't ordinarily say in a situation. And I feel like I would say to these two, like if they were sitting right in front of me, I feel like I would say, you guys have overthought this. But this is saying to, not just to think more, because that's what contemplate means, right? Is to think more. But I'm zooming in on the meditation part. This is the new moon in Pisces. There's something emotional here. And this is something about allowing your emotions into this situation, but in a meditative and contemplative way. So being with your feelings it's a call to balance the feminine and the masculine, because contemplation tends to be, it's the thinking, it's the masculine reason, and then meditation is the feminine being. So it's the yin and yang. It's about balancing that energy within yourselves. A time to give rather than take. Where have you been taking in your life? Each of you. Where have you been taking in your life? And where do you need to shift that up? Because sometimes we realize that we've been taking in a certain place and it's time to give back to that situation. And somebody is ready to make that shift. Making that shift and taking making the first move. It's so funny here. Again, be bold and make the first move. Very like masculine energy. Meditate and contemplate, feminine, integrated energy. A time to give rather than take, feminine. So this is all about integration and balance. This couple needs to integrate with themselves before they can come together with each other. All right, I'm gonna pull one more card here. I have this is gonna be a little mantra for you. This can be for your journaling. Stick it on your mirror for the week. Just sit now and take a few deep breaths and repeat it in your mind. Make a note on your computer screen. Oops, and two popped out, so we'll take them both. I am knowledge. I get this one all the time. I am knowledge. Notice it doesn't say I have knowledge. It's saying I am knowledge. And then for this one, I am forgiving. Is there somebody that needs your forgiveness? Maybe this person, maybe one of the other people in this situation, because there was some strong energy that there were other people involved. So maybe you need to forgive someone else. It's possible that you need to forgive someone from your past. There could be some internal scripts playing about somebody that you need to forgive from your past. Okay, so that's the end of this reading. Again, that was a little bit of a departure from my normal reading for writers, but hey, writers have love lives too, and it matters. And sometimes we're creating with that person. I guess I'll be back with another reading later this week. I'm going to try for one probably on Friday, maybe Saturday if I don't get it up on Friday. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Bye.